Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this week's Spenny Spotlight, we are going to be taking a look at the Baltimore Butterfingers effort that the Ravens receiving corps put forth. 7 drops, 8 drops, 1,000 drops, terrible hand positioning. There is a consistent theme, and it was too much space between their hands. So, with that, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go smash that like and subscribe button for me, and we will get on into the film. Thank you, everyone who supports this channel. Without further ado, let's dive into the tape. All right, let's talk about the first drop here. The Ravens are in 12 personnel. We have Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. Andrews going to chip and release off TJ Watt. The Ravens are going to move the pocket on a play action shot, and it's going to be this deep dig or crosser with a post corner from Nelson Agholor. The Steelers are going to play cover one. Really going to see them just push their 5 up front, look like they're in low gear, expecting a pass. John Simpson does end up getting beat, but enough of a clean pocket for Lamar Jackson to deliver a strike. And then on the outside, we see Pat Peterson and off, Levi Wallace pressed, and Minkah Fitzpatrick as the post safety. Zay Flowers is going to get inside leverage and take off across the middle of the screen. You probably want the ball being somewhere in this zone for him. Let me get rid of all this. In this zone, right about here, but doesn't get there. Lamar Jackson puts it about here instead. So Flowers can't run under the ball and has to make an adjustment. And you can blame that on Lamar. Sure, could have put a better ball. Absolutely could have put a better ball. Could have put it over here. Let him run through it, and hey, maybe a touchdown. But instead, fires it, has him sit down right here. And we're going to go talk about, yes, there was an adjustment, but still bad hand positioning. We're going to watch Mark Andrews on the next play too, have bad hand positioning. Then we're going to take a look at Odell Beckham, who does make a tough catch with good hand positioning. We'll see, and we'll get a better look on the reverse here, but wide hands. There's an area. His hands aren't together. His thumbs aren't together. There's nothing to stop the football. So it goes between them. If there's nothing to stop the football, guess what? The football is not going to stop. And we can see here, tries to clap close on it. There's too much space between his hands. Too much space. Those aren't closed. So it goes right between them. His thumbs and the pocket above his thumbs to the bottom of his index fingers. That's what stops the ball. Had to adjust, but he's tracking here. Okay, the ball is going to be behind me. Okay, the ball is going to be, I have to sit down. I'm ready. Hands aren't ready. They're too wide. They need to be together to stop the football. Could it have been a better ball? Should this ball have been over here? Yes, it should have. But regardless, that's bad hand positioning. So let's go take a look at the next play. The Ravens are essentially just going to run a little RPO concept. Gus Edwards. There's going to be zone blocking. Zone. There's going to be a bubble screen to these two, and then Mark Andrews is going to widen and then run this little slant. And you'll notice bad hand positioning. All right, it's a drop. Sure, could have done something else. Hand the football off. Peyton Manning likes to say, why does it have to be a R? Why does it have to be a P? Why can't it just be an R? And that drop right there. So I want to say Lamar Jackson is definitely shielding Mark Andrews from this safety and from this defender. So he wants to put the ball away from the defender, and that makes Andrews have to make a catch outside of his frame. And it's low. You want to keep it so that Andrews can't get hit by this safety coming up here. But as we inch closer, we see space between the hands. Space between the hands. So if there's space between the hands, that means there's nothing to stop the football. If there's nothing to stop the football doesn't stop. That is the theme of the day. If there's nothing to stop the football doesn't stop. Goes right between his hands. Was this a little tougher? Sure. It was outside his body. He had to get low for it. But still bad hand positioning regardless. So I'm not going to kill Mark Andrews there, but it's bad hand positioning regardless. We can see this angle too. How's that going to stop a football? It's not. You have to clap it off of your palm of your underneath hand of your left hand there. And so it clapped right off. Nothing to stop the football. The football doesn't stop. And you might be saying, wow, that was a tough catch. But let's go look at Odell Beckham and watch him do it. So now let's go watch Odell Beckham here, who is going to run a 3-step slant inside with proper hand positioning to go corral the football. We'll just see the play, 12 personnel, yada, yada. Goes inside, ball's outside his frame, snatches it. So how did he snatch it? Let's go take a look. We can do this one a little sped up. I'll stop. And you can see his hands are together. There's something to stop the football, so the football stops. His thumbs and index fingers are together. So his thumbs and that pocket above them can stop the ball, and he can just bring that in. Snag, back into his body. Maybe he doesn't have the same juice he used to, but he's still got outstanding hands. We can really see it here. And I'll just play it through one time. Then we'll go back and say, frame by frame, ball's coming in outside his frame. This one's not as low as Mark Andrews was, but these hands are tighter. They're together. And he stops the football using his thumbs. There was something to stop the football, so the football stopped. It didn't go between his hands because there was something to stop it. Good hand positioning versus Mark Andrews' bad hand positioning. When I was making this video, I always intend to go over plays and things like that, but let's go look at the first drop in the end zone, Mark Andrews. And regardless of the play, whatever it is, we can see there's space between his hands. There's nothing to stop the football, so the football doesn't stop. It's like having no hands. Nothing is going to touch the ball. There's nothing to stop it. Are you going to catch it with one hand? It's going to clap off your hands. Off of your hand, I should say. Not hands. You're making yourself catch it one-handed by not bringing your thumbs together. That's too much space. It needs to be reduced. Is it outside of his frame? Yes. Is it the easiest catch in the world? No. But you can jump and put your thumbs together and receive the pass. He doesn't, so it goes between them. There was nothing to stop the football, so the football didn't stop. Then on the ensuing play, we can see it from this angle too, just for posterity. Wide hands, and it goes between them. Then on the next play, Rashod Bateman at the bottom of the screen, isolated, a great route, a great release, looking like himself, able to get through, looking like himself. Looks great. Toop. Skirts, makes himself eyes up. Great. Ball comes out. And just hands are together. It looks like a little more so than the other examples I shared. Ball is less on it. Hands are together. They come a little wide, actually. So the ball is received poorly because they actually are wide. I thought they weren't. But you can see space. Too much space. There. Honestly, would rather see him let this into his body than do that at that point. So the ball gets in too deep and he throws it down. Because he had to try to corral it after it got too deep. So he did stop, but he closes his hands at the last second. And it's so deep and he can't bring it down. Just a little too wide there, throws the football on the ground. Got a little deep in there, bam. And he is miserable. You can see here as well. So the ball is coming in. It's a little tough there with the black background, but again, hands are a little wide. Gets inside. And he just isn't really trying to secure the grab into his body. Like, it's great to extend your arms and your hands and have your thumbs and your fingers together and then bring it in. Protect the football. Protect yourself. It just doesn't do that there. Just smacks between them, gets too deep into his basket, and then it starts to come down. It's a little tough to see, but a terrible drop. He's upset. Ravens offense is upset. Now it's 10-0 when it should be 14-0. Throw this in there because it counts as Butterfingers. Drop the football. Justice Hill, it's a shame, had such a good game and then has bad hand positioning, bad ball security, the theme of this game for the Ravens and why they lost. We see him on this screen. Minkah Fitzpatrick comes flying across. Ball's already low before that happens. Low. That's not 5 points of contact. That's easy to yard sale. Makes a move. Ball's high and tight right there. Makes a move. Ball's still high and tight, and then brings it down. Then wraps it out. You can see space between the football and his body as a 300-pound lineman comes hawking in from behind. Look how low the ball is now at this point. So low and away. So he punches right in the breadbasket. There's not 5 points of contact on the football. The ball is coming outside of his frame and too low. So he gets yard sailed. Turns a great play into a really tough, difficult, miserable one. And he knows it. He's upset. Loosey-goosey with the football, bad hand positioning from the Baltimore Ravens in every aspect. Take care of the football. Receive the football. Protect the football. Keep it in tight hands. No space between them or between the ball and your body when you're running. And this doesn't happen. The next one here, to be fair, I don't have a great angle. Still have 3 camera angles. Still can't quite see. So we're going to see Zay Flowers go sit down against his own look. Pat Ricard is going to go leak out. Justice Hill going to go to the flat. And that's going to get Cole Holcomb to drive to the flat. TJ Watt's going to drop off. And there's a little window for Zay Flowers to go sit down, which we'll see top of the screen. Lamar Jackson puts it there, right on his face mask. And I can't really quite see, so I'm going to make an assumption that his hands are too far apart. It's funny, we have 3 camera angles I still can't quite see. But if you fool me once, fool me twice, I'm going to guess your hands are apart. I can see it there. I can see space. Looks like there's still some space. It's not tight like Odell Beckham's were. Flowers wearing purple gloves. A little tougher to see, but I see some green sticking between them. And so the ball just claps off of him. And again, there's just not a natural feel of tucking the ball into the frame. Soft hands, bring it into your body. You want to have some give when it hits. It's good to extend your arms and get your hands out, but there needs to be some give to soften the ball. There isn't. TJ Watt, pop. Mike Tyson's him right in the face, just insult to injury. Punches him right in the mouth. Pop! Watch it in slow motion. Off the hands. Pop! Just punched him right in the freaking face and neck. So, there's another drop. At this point, it's just the definition of insanity. You're going to see Mark Andrews run across the field here. And guess what? There's nothing to stop the football, so the football doesn't stop. Claps. We can see, watch the way he pulls his hands back, too. Basically clapping at the football. And to be fair, I mean, Mark Andrews is an elite player, but never really had great hand placement. Does drop the ball a lot. Tends to happen in bunches, it feels like, with him. 2 games a year. And he just has wide hands. Looks like Mickey Mouse. Hands all wide. His white gloves just too wide. There's nothing to stop the football, so the football doesn't stop. He's basically trying to catch it with one hand. The other hand is like interference. What is the inside right hand going to do here to help? Other than push the ball down. He's better off, honestly, if he wants to have hand positioning like that, doing it with one hand. Or having his hands here. This is where they get to. It's like watching the error in a golfer's downswing versus their backswing. It's like you have to get your hands to the same point no matter what. They have to get there, closed on the ball. They can't be wide. Just catch it with one hand at that point. The other one's just going to push the ball close. You're just going to increase the velocity of the football and disorient it for your other hand. So honestly, if you're going to do that, just one-hand it. But better yet, put your hands together. Have something there to stop the football or the football won't stop. Doink. Here's another one that got a lot of controversy on. Deep ball, 9 route to Rashod Bateman. Lamar Jackson throws it up. And at first glance, there's nothing to stop the football. The football won't stop. The hands are wide. All of the things we've been saying the whole video. Oh, got to commit to one hand. But then when you look closer, you realize, why is there such a space there? It's an incredible space. because we see the corner. You can see, grab that inside forearm well before the ball's there. And that's pass interference. He couldn't make a play on the football because the defender had his arm. Who has to make that call? This ref. The ref is even with them. So it's going to be a little tough for him to see. So, hey, always commit pass interference if you can get away with it. But I'm not crediting Bateman with a drop there. Went to go try and reach up. Would have been tough. Defender right on him. I'm going to call that good coverage. That's a PI, but it's good coverage. It's only a PI if it gets called, right? For this one, I'm going to start with the space between Nelson Agholor's hands. He did make a spectacular grab earlier in this drive, but that little gap right there, let's go with a line instead. This little gap right here. That little gap. Where do you think the football goes? Right between it. Outstanding ball from Lamar Jackson. Ends up getting hit, doesn't care, delivers it beautifully, perfectly. That's what PFF will chart as a big-time throw. Right in stride, pneumatic, whistling, beautiful spiral. And it goes right between his hands. If you take these little handsies, those little thumbsies, or those little pinkies, I should say, and cross them like they teach you in elementary school, in gym class, and close them, there will be something to stop the football. Because if there's not, the football won't stop. Boop. Doink. Right between his hands. Opportunity comes a knocking. Stick those thumbs or those pinkies together and stop the football, or else it won't stop.